morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome all members of the audience to this afternoon's meeting. This meeting is a working session of the board to conduct the business of the district. The agenda for today's meeting has been published, and the agenda items to be discussed and or voted on have been studied by the board members. I would like to introduce the people here on the dais with me. To my far left, Recording Secretary Cindy Benson, Superintendent Larry Francois, board members Kimberly D'Angelo, David Kogan, Sandy Hayes, and Ken Smith. I am Amy Cast, and I currently serve as president of the board. Agendas for this meeting, as well as minutes from our previous meeting, are available on the table at the back. If you are here to address the board on agenda items, please sign in on the clipboard that is on the table with the agendas. You will have an opportunity near the beginning of the meeting for your comments. And the first order of business is the superintendent's report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll have a short report this evening. As board members know, from May 1st through 3rd, I attended the 2016 WASA Superintendent Conference. As the 2015-16 WASA Superintendent Component Chair, I served as official host and Master of Ceremonies for the conference. This year's conference theme was "With Change Comes Opportunity." We had a number of interesting speakers, including our National Association Legislative Director, who spoke to the federal issues around regulation development for the Every Student Succeeds Act and pending reauthorization of the Individual with Disabilities Education Act and the Perkins Act, which is a career technical education related funding. I also had the opportunity to facilitate a candidate forum for 5 of the 6 declared candidates for the Superintendent of Public Instruction. And it was informative to learn more about this extremely varied candidate field. So that was a lot of fun. Last night I had the opportunity to attend the North Shore Council PTSA Scholarship Program at Woodinville High School. Director Hayes was there as well. Once again, another impressive display of the incredibly talented, dedicated, and community-oriented students we have from across the district. So the recipients received $1,000 scholarships funded from the PTSA Council, and they were from SAS, Natalie Brookman, from Bothell High School, Michaela Lowe, from Inglemoor High School, Ashley Jensen, and then there was a split decision at Woodinville High School because they had so many outstanding candidates. So Janice Shin and Kaylin Daly will split the scholarship from Woodinville. So thank you again to the council for your generosity.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next on the agenda are association and public comments. The North Shore School District Board of Directors has set aside a period of up to 60 minutes to receive updates and comments from association leaders and citizens from our community. The board believes that a safe, civil environment is essential to high student and staff achievement, and that the free exchange of ideas is central to a quality educational process. The board expects all parties addressing the board to present their comments in a way that's civil and respectful. Please speak with the board and address matters related to district operations, policies, procedures, and agenda items under consideration by the board. Comments should not make reference to any employee or representative of the district by name or by any identifiable reference. Board meetings are not the appropriate setting for personnel complaints. If interested, there is a complaint process available through the Office of the Superintendent. Please note that because of the public governance process, the board may ask clarifying questions regarding topics not on the meeting's agenda, but will likely defer discussion to a future meeting if warranted, in order for staff to prepare any necessary background information for board members to review and for the discussion item to be included on a published agenda for the benefit of any other parties who may have interest in the topic. Alternatively, a district employee or board member may respond to individuals offering public comment at a later date if warranted to do so. When addressing the board, please state your name clearly for our records. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. There's a timer up on the clock that will sound when your time has expired. We thank you for your participation in the governance process. And first up, are there any association leaders wishing to address the board? Mr. Zies?
First off, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you on behalf of our NASA Principals Group. I probably shouldn't mention the beautiful weather outside, but to say that it is a great reminder that summer is fast approaching. As a junior high principal, I can share that this is certainly not lost on our students. They certainly get more giddy and rambunctious as the year comes to a close. The end of the year is also a time of increased stress as projects come due and students make that final push to finish strong academically. I mention this because this, I believe, is this changing of the seasons parallels the climate of our district right now. In this room, we often hear about only the stress of all the upcoming changes as we work toward that due date of September 2017 and all of the aspects of grade reconfiguration, boundary adjustments, and the opening of new schools and new programs. And while the stresses and concerns shared here are real and help our organization come to the best possible outcomes, I want to share that there is also a sense of great excitement and possibility surrounding these upcoming changes. Elementary principals are excited to have some relief in capacity as 6th grade transitions to the middle school. There are conversations of excitement around how K through 5 redefines the elementary experience. Middle school staff are excited for the possibilities of even better ways to meet the needs of early adolescents in more developmentally responsive ways. And there is similar excitement among our high school staff as they also consider ways to use this grade reconfiguration to improve the educational experience of high school students. With all these various conversations of possibilities surrounding the tectonic shifts that our district is undergoing, there is a turning point at which we must move from conversations of possibility to conversations of action. It is this shift that is on the minds of many building principals. It is our job to ensure that the change initiatives are implemented smoothly and effectively at the building level. That is not to say that we do this work in isolation. We rely on district leadership for guidance and support. We rely on collaboration with one another. And most importantly, rely on the hard work of our instructional staff and the support of our community. As our students look forward to the annual summer reset, building administrators have this habit of always looking a little further. We start planning in February for the next school year. In regards to the implementation of grade reconfiguration, we see next year as a very pivotal year in laying the groundwork for these changes. However, to us, next year has already started. We have work to do with our building leadership teams to prepare the focus of next year. At junior high, I can say we are hiring for next year with middle schools in mind as well. If I could share one request from our Association of Principals, it would be that we continue to expedite the decisions of grade reconfiguration, boundary adjustment, and all else that is coming. Implementation has already begun, and we need a stationary target to make that implementation most successful. I want to close by thanking you for your leadership that you have shown and continue to provide to our district at these times of change. It is clear that you understand that the voices of all stakeholders are important in arriving at the best decisions. I appreciate your fortitude in weathering the conflict that is inherent in issues that are as complex as those that face North Shore right now. And I want to thank you again for this opportunity to speak on behalf of the Association of School Administrators.
Sebastian. Other associations? Ms. Rita?
Hello. Oh, I don't leave them right away. Okay. I'm Sherry Rudolph. I am the North Shore PTSA Council President. Thank you to all of you for your tireless work on behalf of the families and kids in our district. I so appreciate Board Directors Kogan and Hayes attending our gender diversity program last Thursday night. It is information that is relevant and can empower kids, so hopefully that we can spread the word together that gender norms and society norms, they can change through time. Otherwise, like Rosetta Lee shared, some of you would still be wearing like 1700s white powdered wigs and tights and ruffled shirts, and 3 of you wouldn't even be on the dais at all. So the North Shore Council Board realizes that respect and kindness for all others is the key for healthy school cultures. With this in mind, and after much animated discussion among just our board alone, we would like to pledge to you that we are committed to help in any way we can to find solutions for safe accommodations for all kids in North Shore buildings. Through our own experiences, way back when, and conversations with kids, and also just our kids' friends and anyone that comes in our house that we talk to ask about their experiences, we realize that restrooms and locker rooms produce increased anxiety for many, many children, not just those representing diverse genders. So please call on our leadership, and we will in turn call on our membership for partnering ways to either physically change building space or somehow nurture mentoring relationships, but to hopefully develop a climate of school that is normal for all kids. So I do want to also solidify the details for our upcoming speaker, event at Kenmore Junior High. It is at 7 p.m. next Wednesday, May 18th. That is the for sure date. There was some start time open houses that were messing things up. Former Arrowhead teacher, Mrs. Jackson, will be leading the conversation following the screening, which is free and open to the public. This film addresses screen time and how it affects children's brains from a very young age. Many of the experts featured are from the University of Washington Pediatric Center on Human Development and Disability. So with enough interest, we hope to secure some local experts for some future parent education about brain development and how that affects with our grade reconfiguration as well. So we are partnering in many, many ways to get ready for the transitions that are coming so soon. So the confusion, controversy, and ever-approaching deadline that Mr. Z's talked about is looming large in the parent world as well. So in light of all this, our board and now our membership after last night has endorsed and recommends that, I don't think you're voting tonight, but when you do, that you choose option 3, which basically says, because it is kind of convoluted for a lot of our parents to read, that, that you stay a current course for the 17-18 school year with 6th graders in heterogeneous classrooms and learning kind of how to be middle schoolers, and maintain self-select challenge for 7th and 8th. So I was kind of going along what your own board policy states. So just kind of maybe take some time to evaluate. You have in 2090 that program evaluations will include the use of data and best practices research to provide high quality instructional services for all students. And I don't know if all of this evaluation did occur. If it did, it wasn't communicated to all the parents that we could spread that out to all of the 20, especially the 20 elementary schools that it is really going to impact. And there's also a procedure, so the procedure that goes with that. So just the parts highlighted. Just to go through and do the evaluation, and just that it seems like there's a lot of things that might need to be looked at further is what we have decided, we talked about at length as a board. And also, the next one. So a lot of our, especially the parents at the elementary age, the feedback to us is that they did not know very much about it. And so those are the current 4th, 5th, and 6th graders those are the groups that will be impacted. And they were grossly misinformed. And it just is, I think it was, the template worked wonderfly for ADTF. And so I think maybe we need to reshape a template as well, and we're here to help in any way that we can. So thank you, Matthew. And so I just wanted, you guys all know all your policies and procedures, I'm sure, but I was just going to highlight a few. And so we're here to help in any way, and that also we just thank you so much for all the work you do. I know it's tireless, and I know your pay scale, and we and all the families and the kids of North Shore appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was anyone from PTSA, is it PTSA or PTA?
It depends on the school.
Okay, that's why I get that deal. Was anyone on the middle school task force or middle school subcommittee from your guys' board? Or from the PTA that you know of as a representative of PTA?
One of the presidents was, but I don't know which subcommittee she was on, but she, the president of Lockwood was on the task force.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Seeing no other association, oh, I'm sorry, go, yeah, absolutely, come on up.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. I'm Denise Sneed, Vice President of CPAC. Thank you for letting me share today. We want to share the CPAC, which is the Special Ed Parent Professional Advisory Council. We want to share some exciting things that are coming up very soon as the school year ends. First, we're looking forward to recognizing and honoring some outstanding service awards of all staff, even volunteers in the district who go above and beyond, and those will be recognized in the next month. As well as working with the North Shore School Foundation, doing the grant process and looking specifically at how we can fund and help teachers in the within special ed as they've made classroom grant requests. We are also sponsoring as much as we can, with volunteers and other support, the Love Alive concert, which happens next Monday, as another way of looking at inclusion for all students, even beyond, and maybe perhaps especially beyond academics, through music. We're excited about the program that the district has invited into the school district, so thank you for that. And CPAC does not have a stance on the middle school curriculum options. Honestly, CPAC families are so diverse within our own families, let alone among each other. But we always, always will recommend and advocate doing the best for all students. And we always want to be the voice that says, hey, my kid has an IEP or I have an IEP, please don't forget me. As a reminder of past history, North Shore School District actually does have a precedent for having an alternative, I'll say middle school because it wasn't a 9th grade, though it didn't have a 6th grade program. It was a 7th, 8th grade middle school program in the district through SAS Junior High. Closed in 2009 because of state budget cuts. So just giving a little history lesson on that there is a precedent for alternative educational components for different kids all across the district because it is really difficult to educate all children with one brushstroke as you more than well know. So I really appreciate the time you guys have put in looking at all aspects of what's coming up for the 2017. And I don't know how you're going to find the unicorn that makes it life good for all 3 of my very different children. But when you find that unicorn, hopefully the new superintendent will also be riding that unicorn. We wish you luck with that.
Was there a representative from CPAC on the middle school task force?
To my best of knowledge, no. I mean, outside of parents, right? I know there was an administration that Shannon Hitch was the representative for a subcommittee. I'm making this up. A subcommittee within the task force as the, not a CPAC representative, but a special needs representative.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise. Okay, let's make sure I didn't miss any other association leaders. No. Okay, great. So we're going to move on to public comments. What I'm going to do, we have quite a few students who've come here, and we've adjusted our sign-in form so that we can identify the students ahead of time. So what I'm going to do is run through the students first. So students, we appreciate you coming out. You know, thank you very much. Let us know if you have any questions. But we will continue. So first on the list, we have Lily and Catherine. And when you come up, if you can please state your first and last name, that helps us for our records. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Catherine McGinnis, and I'm in 7th grade at Leota Junior High. And I support the option for keeping the option of taking challenge classes, but I'm not really here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about the students in my school and others who will be dramatically impacted by challenge decisions and other decisions made. These students' opinions have been not very well heard when their input could be very valuable. Many students don't even know what kind of issues are happening here. To further prove my point, At the last meeting, we listened to all of the teachers speak, but when it was our turn to talk, the teachers left and they were gone. And I feel like the students in this district have a right to know what's going on in their schools and be able to speak their mind about it.
Hi, I'm Lily Peasy. I'm a 7th grader at Leota Junior High. I believe the challenge program should continue in the middle schools. Each student should be able to take challenge classes or not take challenge classes if that's what they want. So why isn't the district included kids in this decision? We're the ones who would be the most affected by these challenge decisions. So why aren't we having this issue brought to the attention of all students? Most of us students up here only know about this problem because our parents have told us about it. So now I ask that you keep the self-select challenge program and involve students in later decisions involving the child.
Next up is Valerie Cobb.
Hi. Hi, I'm Valerie Cobb. I'm a 5th grader at Bear Creek Elementary. I have a great teacher, but sometimes I don't feel like I'm challenged enough in class. Even though I'm in the highest math and reading groups in my class. In math, I often get bored when my teacher has to repeat the same thing over and over again day after day and go slowly. Well, I'm in a pull-out class that happens every Monday and Thursday during math time, and for some reason I feel like it's not enough for me because often that teacher is either sick or subbing for someone else, and I'm stuck with that. I'm stuck with my regular teacher. I look forward to middle school so that I can take challenge classes and really get to know myself. If we don't keep the challenge program, I don't think I'll be challenged enough when I get to middle school. Please vote and keep the self-select challenge program. Thank you.
Very much, Valerie. Zahid? And if you could state your last name, that would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Zahid Yusuf, and I'm 7th grader at Leota. So last week, a few of my friends and I attempted to have students at Leota sign a petition in support of the current self-select challenge option we have now. We were unable to, however, and we are told that we needed approval from the district, but that this would happen on June 1st at the earliest, which is far too late to be able to present it to this board. Because there is no viable option for having a petition at school right now, I have since directed students to sign the online Save Our Challenge petition. Of the many students I have talked to, every one of them was supportive of challenge and said they would have signed the petition if they had the chance to. Thank you.
I have a question. I'm sorry, who told you you couldn't have a petition?
That was the principal.
Marshall, am I pronouncing that correctly? Come on up. Okay, if you can let us know your last name, that would be very handy.
Hi, my name is Herschel Desai, and I'm in favor of the current self-select challenge program. I believe that all students should have a right to choose how they want to challenge themselves without having an outside opinion, like the district. I also believe that working with all peers is a great skill that all children should have. But option 1, challenge for all, involves heterogeneous classes with differentiation. Option 3, self-select challenge for 7th and 8th graders, puts students with similar abilities in the same classes, allowing students to work together and build working skills. Differentiation may put students with different abilities and skills in the same class, which makes it harder for students to work together. Thank you.
Very much. Rose?
Hi, my name is Feroz Yusuf. I am here today to tell you that I made my own petition about keeping the challenge program. It says, Save Our Challenge. If you want to be able to choose faster paced and more challenging classes in junior high, please sign below. I brought this petition to school and I took it out to recess and got 35 signatures from kids who want to go into challenge when they start junior high. 3 kids said that they didn't want to go into challenge and didn't want to sign. So I said, okay, that's fine. A lot of the kids that I talked to knew what challenge was, and the others signed after we talked about it. Thank you.
So Claire Reeks, is Claire here? There she is.
Claire said she was not going to be speaking, but gave us something in writing.
Thank you.
I'm giving my time to my sister who has a long speech.
So Cammie. Yeah, we're, a little ahead of schedule, but, so typically Cammie, just because I get to monitor the clock, go ahead, keep passing out. So typically we do limit to 3 minutes, especially when we have 24 speakers signed up today. So a lot of people did not comment very long ago, so we do have a little extra time. So. Okay. Would you like help copying them to get them to board members? Or are they part of this information and it's just for our records? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So, good afternoon. My name is Kimmy Brooks. I'm a 9th grader at Leota Junior High, and I'm also Honor Society President. I have taken 10 challenge courses in my junior high school experience. Over the past months, I've been following the challenge debate, listening and reading the conflicting opinions of administrators, teachers, and parents. However, it has dawned on me that we have not heard the students of those who are directly affected by the proposed changes in the challenge program, the students. I am extremely disheartened that the district has overlooked the opinion of students. So I took the initiative upon myself and conducted an inclusive survey during lunch where students could have the opportunity to share their experiences and thoughts. I felt an unbiased survey would have better solicit student feedback and was more appropriate than a petition that supported one position or another. The survey was so popular that I ran out of copies and was not able to get the input of students in second lunch. When I got home that night to make more copies, I received word from my principal that I needed the district approval to continue my survey. He determined that my student opinion survey required a research application which involves 18 questions and would need to be approved by the superintendent's cabinet, and in that end, if approved, would be done the day or so before the final school board meeting vote. My principal and administration did not inform me of the policy that requires optional student opinion surveys to be submitted for approval, but based on my correspondence with the district, I don't feel that I can give you the copies of the student surveys. What I feel comfortable sharing with you now is some overall findings and insights from the sample survey. 178 Leota Junior High School students took the challenge survey May 3rd, offered during lunch period. So, how familiar are students with the current challenge? 80% of students were currently enrolled in one or more challenge courses. The average course taken was about 2.2. Of the students taking a challenge course at Leota Junior High, 143, 36% that they had been provided challenge content in any other classes a few times, and over 52% had said they had never been given additional challenge material. Challenge content is not being effectively delivered with students who choose to be enrolled in these challenge courses. How are they going to be able to deliver challenge course material when all these mixed ability students are in the same classroom? What do students think of the success of the prospect of challenge role model? For those students who are not in challenge, only 19 think the challenge will be successful. 35% think it won't be successful, and 46% are uncertain. For those students who are in challenge but have not received additional challenge content, 8% think the challenge will be successful, 54% think it won't be successful, and 38% are uncertain. For those students who are in challenge but have received a few additional challenge content material, only 8% think the challenge will be successful. 78% think it won't be successful, and 13% are uncertain. For those who are in challenge but have received challenge content at all time, 0% think the challenge will be successful, 76% think it won't be successful, and 74% are uncertain. a majority of students not taking challenge classes either think it won't be successful or they are uncertain. The big takeaway is that students who are exposed to challenge contents are the ones least optimistic about the challenge for all success and appear to believe that challenge for all actually means challenge for none.
If I can ask a clarifying question, so your comments, they're contained here within the notes, so we could read them at a later time. So again, because we have so many speakers this evening, do you have some concluding statements that you can make? And I have to tell you, we all are very diligent of reading everything we receive.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to conclude with some of these I have included in my packet for you guys, some of the actual response given by students. All of them seem really passionate and were willing to give their feedback and applying it to their own experiences in the challenge program that they've been through. But most feel that they value classes that have similar experiences, similar work ethics, and similar needs. They feel that their teacher is able to provide those needs only if they are separated. So that's what most of the discourse has been about the challenge program. And lastly, I want to say that this issue for me has become less about data or statistics. It's been more of like, let's get the students talking. Let's see what they have to say, because they are the mindset we're trying to reach when we make these actual decisions. So I really hope you consider what I've written. I've provided some letters from students that cannot be here today. So I really appreciate your time and diligence and approaching this issue. And
Thank you for your work.
I have a question, two questions. First of all, I want to thank you, and I'm sure the rest of the board members feel, just the fact that you're an engaged student, and it's awesome, just for your advocacy, no matter what the issue was. So,
thank you. Again, I really want to stress the fact that at the beginning I didn't have a position. I just really wanted to see what the students had to say. So.
I just have two questions. You mentioned one that you asked for a policy, or I'm sorry, did you ask for a policy?
Yes.
I wasn't clear on that.
I asked both my principal and the data analysis that I spoke with. Neither could provide me a policy.
But you did ask.
Yes.
And the second thing is, you mentioned, and maybe I heard you wrong, but I thought that you mentioned that you didn't feel comfortable giving us the results of the survey.
Yes.
Is there a reason why?
Some had names on them.
Okay.
So
It would be part of a public
Yeah,
record.
Yes.
that's awesome. Good thinking. I just want to clarify.
Yeah, but I've compiled some of the better responses for you to look at. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Addie Carlson?
Hello, my name is Addie Carlson. I am a student at Leota Junior High. I am enrolled in one challenge class, and I believe that we should all have an opinion as students to be able to decide if we should be enrolled in challenge or not, because I know some of my friends that are in the basic learning category now that are still failing their classes, and they are trying their hardest to get better and start the understanding of it more. And I feel that if it was all challenge class, that the people that are still struggling in the basic learning is going to fall back behind more, because they will feel maybe more obligated to really try their hardest, and if they don't meet their needs, they may feel just terrible inside, and they may feel unsupported by their fellow peers. And it has come upon me to think that I feel that some kids, I know it's come up as an issue, that some kids are being bullied from choosing the basic learning instead of the challenge. And I just think that if it is an all challenge, that if they are not up to par with the other students in the challenge program, that they will get bullied for having to get rid of an elective or have to get extra help from their teachers, because other students are higher in the challenge program than they are, and they're just trying to get a better understanding of their subject. Thank you.
Thank you. Levi Roden?
Hello, I am Levi Roden, and I'm an elected ASB officer at Leota Junior High, and I'm here to voice my opinion that Challenge should remain a self-select program. The main reason I do the Challenge program is because of the environment that is created in the classroom. In a Challenge class, all the other kids work at a fast pace and are engaged in the learning. Everyone is curious and enthusiastic to learn. I know for myself, and many of my friends who couldn't be here, that this is the main reason that we chose Challenge. The environment keeps us engaged and allows our class to explore topics deeper. Challenge for All threatens this environment. Lost is the excitement of learning and the fast-paced classes. The classrooms just become like a normal class. Teachers have also mentioned that kids would be able to help teach others. I have done this before in self-mind classes, and it was a very frustrating process. Me and the other kid didn't see eye to eye, and in the end, none of us gained anything out of the experience. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Ish Satyamurthy. I am the ASB president at Leota Junior High, and I am definitely an advocate for self-select challenge program. Something that I wanted to bring up was my personal experience with the challenge program. I, like many of my peers, have taken a lot of challenge classes, but I've also taken some non-challenge classes, so I kind of know both sides of the argument. What I found is that the main difference between the challenge and the non-challenge program is, rather than the content or the workload that is assigned by the teacher, it's the work ethic and the motivation of the kids in the class. And I've also learned, as someone who does have a pretty good work ethic, that kids who have a good work ethic and have good motivation work the best and learn the most effectively with people with similar attitudes as I do. With that same logic, kids who need to improve their work ethic, even if they are trying their hardest, but they need to improve their work ethic and improve their motivation, need to get more motivated, I suppose, they work together the best with people who have similar attitudes as they do, and they get the best help from teachers if they're with similar people. In addition, people in challenge classes right now, I find that they really do learn information more quickly than people in non-challenge classes do. So this is kind of a case of literal academic learning rather than simply work ethic and motivation. When I was in 7th grade, I was in a non-challenge science class. So firsthand, I kind of experienced being in a class with people who did not learn as quickly as I did. And I did try my best to support these people because I wanted them to succeed as well. But the reason that it didn't work out that well in that class was not because they didn't have the motivation or the work ethic, but literally because they were not able to learn as quickly as the rest of the class could. So I just wanted to give you some insight into what I have observed in the challenge program. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Eric Meekum. Thank you guys for letting me come speak on my behalf today. So I have been in the EAP program with a couple of my peers for the past few years, and I've had first-hand experience with kids in just a challenge course, but we're all at different levels. And if all classes are made challenge and there'll be no more self-selection, then the option for, oh sorry, my bad. So being in an EAP classroom, everybody's at different levels. So let's say, for example, I was in a 7th grade math level at 6th grade, and a couple of my other peers were at an 8th grade math level. I felt a little bit bad on myself, but being in this situation right now, not being able to select a couple of our challenge classes, not being able, sorry, it's like I didn't have a speech prepared before. So I'm aware that if we have not selected a couple of our challenge classes and other people have, we might feel bad about ourselves. But being in a challenge class and not being able to keep up with the people in there will make us feel even worse. And I just want to bring that to your attention if all classes are made challenge. Thank you for the time for me to speak.
My name is Maya Devante, and I'm a 7th grader at Leota Junior High. I'm in the AAP program, but I wasn't always, so I know what it's like for someone to be forced from their true potential. I know what it's like to be in a normal one-size-fits-all classroom, because it happened to me when I was in first grade. My teacher, once she got to know me, almost depended on me to help take care of the normal kids. And if someone was struggling, I'd be the one to help out, which eventually got pretty ridiculous because I'd just be sitting there, and then she'd, like when I was working, and she'd be like, hey, someone needs help, and I'd have to abandon my work and go help someone out. And this extra work plus the classwork that didn't really let me grow because it was below my level made me feel stressed every day even when I wasn't really learning anything new. And I remember some of the kids asked me how I managed with all the homework, and I didn't really have a real answer besides that I had done it already. When my mom finally figured out that I wasn't being challenged enough at school, she realized that I would need something special to make sure that I could learn all I could. The next year, I was introduced to the EAP program where my life changed. I could finally learn as fast as I wanted and people there understood me. If the school board decides to recreate the one-size-fits-all approach, many kids would face what I did. Stress and overwork at a young age made me feel like school was a bad thing, and that'll probably be what most smart kids will feel like, stressed about nothing. Keeping the Self-Select Challenge program will ensure that everyone can strive to their full potential. Thank you for your time.
Giselle Charpentier.
It's Charpentier. It's okay. I worked with my mom to make a letter, and so I was just going to want to read a little bit from it that I thought was important. So I felt like the best example of a class that would be affected the most or part of the most would be history, because I feel like in history the teacher has a good amount of events and subjects that they have to cover that are required for the year. And for what I've noticed is that if the kids in that class are not all in the same like-mindedness or ability or motivation, they might be the kids that are going to talk more during class, making it harder for the teacher to go farther in the subjects and challenge the kids more. There's the saying, the weakest link, a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. I feel like I'm worried that this all-challenge program will not cover what will happen if, how the teacher will be able to teach more, besides taking into factor the student who's the weakest link or has the least motivation. I'm also worried about how they will try to make sure that each class is structured, because classes do have to have structure in what they need to teach, while also personalizing it so that everyone is challenged. Teachers already have so much work to do, and I'm worried that if you try to put that workload on them, trying to figure out how to do that, it will lead to havoc. My mom mentioned that when my brother Julian, who's 19 now, was in North Shore Junior High, he had the problem with his math class that he could not work as well and focus during class because of the talking in the back of the classroom. He tried talking to his teacher, but his teacher told him that there was not really anything he could do. My parents went to the classroom also to try to figure something out, but there was just nothing to do. Ever since then, my brother Julian has had a lack of foundational math skills being taught during his 9th grade math class, which then affected him throughout high school and even in college, that he is his first year as a freshman now. I just really believe that, yes, you can try to make students have equal abilities at the end when they graduate, but in the beginning, students aren't the same. And because of that, we shouldn't try to make them the same in some ways, because that will try to push some people back or stress others to be at the same pace as the class. I do not want people to have to experience this, and also not want group projects to be affected badly in any way. So thank you for listening to me.
We appreciate you coming out. I'm going to go back now to the beginning of the list just to help everyone keep track. So first on the list is Angie Youssef.
Hello, my name is Angie Hinojos Yusuf, and I have 3 kids in the North Shore School District. Before I start, I would like to ask whoever's here to support Challenge to please stand up. Thank you. I'd like to talk about how the academic subcommittee's work was based on the district pushing a predetermined outcome to get rid of Challenge. And I'd also like to address a few of the policy violations that have taken place with respect to the overall process. I'm going to echo a little bit what Sherry talked about. I didn't know that she would be talking about some of those. In a memo from the district to the school board dated October 2015, the district specifically stated, quote, "The subcommittee began meeting in June 2015 to begin researching how to provide a challenging curriculum for all related to the use of heterogeneous groups, specifically. This subcommittee was steered to provide you with their final recommendation. They did exactly what the district expected of them. I'd like to call out some of the board policies that have been ignored by the district during the past year. Policy 4200, shared decision making, quote, "All parties must commit to the use of shared decision making in order to foster full participation and genuine involvement of parents, community members, and students. The district has not made any attempt to obtain community input on this issue." Policy 2210, grade organization. A student will be assigned to an instructional group or classroom which will best serve the needs of that individual. Many community members armed with masses of research and tons of experience and common sense are here to testify that their students are best served in challenge classes. Policy 2090, program evaluation. Quote, "Program evaluations will include the use of data and best practices research to provide high-quality instructional services for all students. The challenge program has not been evaluated. The district is trying to force changes that many of us believe will result in extremely negative outcomes for our students, and they do not have a good reason for doing it." Policy 3220, freedom of expression. Quote, "Distribution of materials, publications, or other material written by students may be distributed on school premises in accordance with procedures. As you'll hear tonight, you've already heard, several of our students were stopped from distributing both a petition and a survey pertaining to the challenge program, and were told the approval process would take a long time. These kids are engaged, they are curious, they are passionate about school. They have real opinions and they have deep thoughts. For me, it is inconceivable that a principal would stop any student from respectful discourse during non-instructional time at school. Please consider these policy violations. The whole point of policy is to guide procedure. Without it, the district will be free to make decisions willy-nilly. It is very clear that the district had an agenda from day one. Let's be on the forefront of rational thought and trust the data and trust our community when we say, please, save our challenge. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I am Dr. Nancy Chamberlain. At the last school board meeting, we heard from NSEA members accused proponents of self-select challenge program of creating segregation in our district. Segregation is defined as the institutional separation of an ethnic, racial, religious, or other minority group from the dominant majority. Obviously, Save Our Challenge finds the notion that advocating for a program in which students can choose something is akin to promoting segregation, offensive and patently absurd. If the NSEA members or president had taken the time to read our 80-page recommendations, they would have found several chapters on how Self-Select Challenge has increased access of underrepresented groups to more rigorous classes in junior high and high school. So the Self-Select Challenge program has disproportionately benefited underrepresented groups. Now this seems to contradict the classroom composition spreadsheet that the NSEA has been using to tout the inequity of the Self-Select Challenge program. So let's take a look at the reality of those numbers as one school board member did at the last study session. The district's own data analyst concludes that nearly 98% of students in challenge courses were at or above standard for the last 3 years. So students who self-select into challenge courses have passed the SBA with a 3 or a 4. If you just take the proportion of free and reduced and non-free and reduced students who passed the SBA in grade 6 and went on to select Challenge Math 7-8 or Challenge English, you will find that what it boils down to is we need to identify and encourage 1 or 2 more free and reduced students per elementary school. Surely this is something the district can commit to in its efforts for continuous improvement. It is also imperative that NSD commits to closing the achievement gap. When only half of our 6th grade free and reduced lunch kids pass the SBA, that is a cause for a thorough examination of what we are doing in elementary to address this inequity. I support what Director Smith mentioned at the study session regarding this issue and stand ready to help. Save Our Challenge would like to express its strong support for a middle school academic model that meets the needs of all learners. While it is not our first choice, option 3 provides choice for 7th and 8th grade students to select the appropriate pace and depth in academic subjects they choose, while allowing struggling learners the choice to proceed at a pace that is appropriate for them. We note that option 3 was the middle school task force's second choice recommendation. As such, we believe it is a compromise solution that we can all get behind. Thank you. I'm sorry?
Did you talk about this data here?
Okay, so on the back of what I gave you are is the data that I used to determine that there is just 1 or 2 free and reduced lunch kids that aren't selecting challenge that could be. So I derived this from the data in the table I gave you from the state report card. So the percentage of kids who pass the SBA is public information, readily available. The district gave us spreadsheets of class composition, broken down who took challenge, who didn't, free and reduced versus all. I simply did a subtraction to get the non-free and reduced. And what I determined was that about 70% of the kids who are not free and reduced who pass the SBA, 70% select challenge math if they pass the SBA, and 51% who pass the SBA selected English. So it's not like every kid who passes selects to go into those classes. There's a percentage. So what does it look like for free and reduced? Well, when you consider only half of them are even passing, about half of the kids who pass in free and reduced are selecting math. So it's a little lower. And if you calculate it out, it amounts to about 22 kids who passed the SBA who maybe didn't select challenge, if you took the 70% selection rate, which is in the table on the right. Does that make sense? So if free and reduced kids selected challenge at the same rate as non-free and reduced, we'd have 22 more kids in the whole district.
What I hear you saying is that there are kids from free reduced lunch that are passing the SBAC that are in our challenge.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So we have about half of all kids who are free and reduced who pass the SBAC choose challenge math, and about 28% choose English versus about 50%. So there's a gap of 32 students district-wide for English and 22 for math. And so that's what we're talking about. It's 1 or 2 kids per elementary school that we have to find and encourage.
Any other follow-up questions? Okay. Thank you, Nancy.
Hello, my name is Angie Hancock. I attended the school board study session last week, and I listened to the discussion about the task force's recommendation on challenge. During that discussion, I heard several concerns voiced by school board members, and I wanted to address those concerns this afternoon. The first concern was whether mixed ability classrooms would help lessen the achievement gap. One director stated that since the achievement gap really starts in elementary school, where we already have mixed ability classrooms, how would implementing the same mixed ability classroom model in middle school fix that problem? Shouldn't we be looking at how to prevent the achievement gap in the mixed ability elementary schools rather than changing a program that's been successful according to the district's own success metrics? Data analyzed from NSD shows that since Challenge was instituted, there has been a 117% increase in students taking Algebra 1 from the free and reduced lunch population. That kind of positive change in the free and reduced students can only help the achievement gap in time, and it may have helped already. Another concern I heard was about equity and struggling learners. But I think once again the word equity is being misinterpreted. In the mixed ability classroom, we're being told every student will get the challenge curriculum and challenge pace. But that's not equity. Equity is giving every student what they need. Not every student needs challenge curriculum and challenge pace. That's why 40% of the students in the district today choose not to self-select challenge classes. If those students were forced into challenge curriculum and pace, some students will struggle. Right now, our students who struggle have to give up an elective to take a support class. Do we really want to have more students giving up electives in order to keep up in challenge for all classes? That doesn't sound very equitable to me. Lastly, I heard a concern for the kids. The students have not been asked by the district what they think about this recommendation to remove self-select challenge. Students haven't been on any task forces or subcommittees. The decision primarily impacts students, and the only way they can be heard is to appeal to the school board like they have tonight. When some students have tried to survey their schoolmates, the district has wrapped them in red tape, telling them they need to fill out forms that will take weeks or months to be approved. You've already heard more about that tonight. The students are trying to be heard, they're trying to voice their opinions, but the adults seem to feel that the students aren't capable of making decisions for themselves, that they must be protected from their own choices. I disagree with that notion. I believe middle school students can and do make good academic choices. I think that in many cases, the tweens and teens standing up here testifying are making much more sense than some of the adults. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get a check mark. Come on up, Sam. I apologize.
Well, not a student of North Shore School District, but former student. Anyway, hello board. I'm Samuel Cravey. I'm a former student of the Bothell High School graduate, and I'm here to also give my vote and to just further comment that I'm in interest of the challenge program. From a personal experience, I've gone through the challenge program from 8th grade to 12th grade, and it definitely benefited me in my life and my academic pursuits that I have right now. Right now, I'm currently pursuing an electrical engineering degree at the University of Colorado at Boulder, and I would consider that near impossible without the challenge program in my experience, and that through the challenge program I was considered on par with other students in my starting classes, and I'm able to continue with it because of this challenge program, and it's helped benefit me a lot. Versus one of the other students that I grew up with, he's actually how I found out about the program. He excelled in all ways above me when he first signed up for it and tested into it. However, due to an error of some kind, he was not placed into the challenge program, and he was put to basic learning like the rest of the students, and he was not able to pursue any interest with his mathematical or English exceptionalities, and is well, he's a great guy. He's now working out of a warehouse and has not been able to go to college. So I just felt in my personal experience is that it's really benefited me, and that it would be really hard to see us pursue our engineering and mathematical careers without this program. Thank you.
Dawn?
Thank you, Board. It's really nice to see you this evening. My name's Dawn McCravey. I do live in the district, and I'm a taxpayer, voter, all those things. I just wanted to come tonight to support Challenge, and I wasn't really sure that I wanted to say anything. I think that I've made that clear to all the board members that I support the Challenge program for the reasons you heard my son describe just now. But I thought you needed to hear a story. I went for a walk today. And if you've ever gone for a walk with me, you may understand that that's an arduous task.